And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Gabe and Nick's Adventure, Episode 2. Last time we were talking about embarrassing movies of the last decade. And now, here's Gabe with...
Nick. Very good introduction, Gabe. Happy to be here as your esteemed guest. We have quite a night ahead of us. For those that love top 10s, we have a top 10 extravaganza.
Right, so yeah, we're continuing the theme of top 10s. This time, we've come up with our own categories. I fucked up a little, or Nick overdid it a little. Either way, that happens, always.
I fucked up first, Gabe. We're both Shinji in this situation.
Yes.
So regardless, it's a little bit of a mess, but it wouldn't be our show if it was not a complete disaster. So it's fitting.
Yeah. So, Nick, do you want to go first with your first top 10?
I'll explain a little bit more what we decided for this week. Last time was more of a competition. We had identical goals for our top 10s to come up with the 10 most embarrassing films of the decade, argue our points against each other, and then award each other based on who we thought gave the best summary, best review, etc. This time, we each came up with completely random top 10s based off of different subjects. In 3 rounds, we're going to each present our lists, and we'll grade each other on a scale from Cancer to Kino. Sound good, Gabe?
If this were a competition, I would have given you a 0 for that explanation.
Amazing.
Okay. But yeah, I think the audience gets it.
Okay.
So Nick,
the only thing that I should mention is that I did create 6 lists when we were only supposed to have 3. So sorry.
That is what we mentioned beforehand. So Nick, would you like to go first, you overachiever?
No.
Oh, okay, then I will go first, then. So, Nick, I have 3 categories that you can choose from.
What is happening?
Trailers,
what?
Clickbait, or anime.
I get to pick?
You get to pick which one I start with first.
What? I don't fucking care. What a shitload of fuck.
Shitload of fuck. So
okay, fine. Go with let's see. Your categories were anime, clickbait, and trailers?
Yes.
Ooh, got it. Okay. It's not because I have these written down already.
Okay.
All right. Start with trailers. How about that?
All right, for trailers. Now, I could have easily gone with the worst fucking trailers of all time, or of the decade, since this is that. But I decided to go with something maybe a little bit more challenging. Great trailers, but turn out to be shit movies, basically.
Ooh, okay. And this is of the decade?
Yes. Well, I did cheat one a little bit, but we saw it this decade, and no one would really remember it for being another decade, basically.
Nice. I appreciate the effort of being a hack.
Yeah, of course.
So sounds like an exciting list. Can't wait.
So I'm going to go through these each quickly, and then we're going to give some honorable mentions before we get to number 1.
Honorable mentions.
All right.
Keep on. You're the hack that keeps on giving, Gabe.
Of course. So number 10, Transformers 4. I say this mostly because Transformers 3 was and Transformers 2 happened before 2010s. So the best thing I saw was Transformers 4. I didn't see Transformers 5 the last night, but Transformers 4 promised a lot, but ended up in the second act being the most boring, weirdly convoluted structure I've ever seen, placated to China for all things considered. I was expecting robo-dinosaurs, and it only happened like 5 seconds in the film at the very, very end. So, pretty disappointing. I would have committed to all the Transformers films, from 2 to 5 at least. But I only seen 4 that came out this decade. Next, number 9, Scourge. Now, this is where the hack choice happened because technically Scourge came out in 2008. But you know what?
Okay.
I saw the trailer for it, and you know what? The trailer for it was actually pretty good. It was in that way where you couldn't tell it was shitty because it was going through so many cuts and flash and blackouts that it seemed like an actual like infestation movie that you could get scared for. Obviously, when you actually watch the movie, you know it's a direct-to-DVD type deal. A lot of those funny, crazy shots you see in the movie are in there, but out of context, they look a little creepy. Obviously, not creepy in the movie, but otherwise, that's fine. Now, let's get to number 8, The Last Jedi. I hate like going over some things over and over again. This is more on the case that The Last Jedi was a bad movie, yes, but the trailer for it was, you'd expect the best for it. You expect like things to be interesting. There was a nice little tempo to that music of things of finality and fucking Star Wars is trying to do for Episode 9. It was pretty much trying to do for Episode 8, but then we got Last Jedi and that. So, Nick, how horribly is my top 10 going through right now?
Well, I'm kind of letting you go on autopilot right now.
All right, then.
I have not... Amazing.
So,
I've not seen the Transformers or Scourge trailers, but I will agree the Last Jedi trailer was pretty hype. It didn't really imply, or it didn't give any hints of the subversion-filled experience that we were in for. It showed just the hits, and a lot of that movie, you could argue, is made of scenes that are designed to look good in a trailer. So, yeah, great trailer.
All right, so next. This one caught me off guard, a little personal, close to home. Battle Los Angeles.
Wow, that's a flash from the past.
Yeah, it is. So very, very distinct trailer. I don't. It's hard to describe it. To say it's like a drowned out robotic voice sinking in the background, very melancholy. People fighting in the background for it, like has some real kind of Independence Day feels, I guess, at the same time too. But what the movie ended up being was nothing much of that. It was a nice little like excursion through the beginning trials of Los Angeles getting taken over by aliens, and a lot of shaky cam that made me just queasy even through like simple talking head scenes. Like they fucking overdid it with the camera.
You're talking about the movie itself,
the
not
movie
the trailer.
the movie itself is just really basic. I remember being hyped for it, and like it had a Cloverfield type of image, but it was a little lesser than what Cloverfield was trying to do, basically.
Okay.
So it was like between a real life documentary and standard, talking head bullshit, basically. Next, I would have said this is number 1 because of how good the trailer is and how bad the movie is, but I'm also basing this list off of my personal connection with it. So
and this is 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. I think I lost count again. Okay.
Wow.
Yes, it's 6.
It is. No, I thought. Wait. We need to get this right, Gabe. How can you not know what number this is? Are you looking at a list?
No, actually, I know.
Are you doing this shit off the top of your head?
I know this is 6 because this movie starts.
Are you sure it's not
S.
7?
No, it starts with an S. Suicide Squad. Now, Suicide Squad went through it. Not the best movie. In fact, I fucking hated it. But the Suicide Squad trailer,
not the best movie. Okay.
Remember, we watched it initially from watching Suicide Squad and Fantastic Four or Fourtastic at the same time.
Speak for yourself, Gabe. Initially, I saw this film in the fucking theater.
Well, it's a good thing I don't go to the movies anymore because then I would. even from that hack way that we watch movies sometimes, I could tell Suicide Squad was an absolute fucking stinker. The fact that it got an Oscar for best makeup design.
For best damage tattoo.
Oh my fucking god. And remember, Marvel has never won an Oscar. I don't know if any other DC movie has won a fucking Oscar.
Well, Black Panther won 3 Oscars, but up until that point, they had not won.
Yeah.
MCU, at least. Spider-Man 2 won an Oscar.
Did it? Oh, okay.
Best visuals.
Oh, okay, cool. But that year, there was like a motif. There were a lot of Queen songs playing in trailers. You had one for Hardcore Henry, Suicide Squad, a few others actually, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? Maybe just a lot of producers were asking for it at the same time, and it was a coincidence. But overall, Suicide Squad, the trailer. It's exactly what I thought from the animated shorts and the comic books. I've seen a lot of them. A lot of them do what they're supposed to. And it's very interesting, where this one is just kind of boring, out of place all the time. Meh, pretty much. From what I've seen, Birds of Prey is kind of similar to Suicide Squad. If it's the same formula, I don't have much hope.
So before you continue with your list, I'd like to talk about this specific choice on your list, because I'm kind of shocked, actually.
Why?
Because I think these trailers are terrible.
Wait.
There were several trailers for Suicide Squad, I believe. I mean,
have you seen the first?
There are like a million TV spots, but I think there are 3.
Okay.
Were you just talking about the first one, or were you talking about all of these trailers together?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the ones that you remember. Like the first one, the first Suicide Squad
I remember
trailer.
all of them.
The first Suicide trailer that played the fucking...
The first one... No, that was not the first Suicide Squad trailer.
Right. I remember now. It wasn't.
The first Suicide... The second and third Suicide Squad trailers completely aped the style of Guardians of the Galaxy by playing pop music. You referenced Queen.
Yes.
They also played a different pop song. Mm-hmm. The very first trailer was completely different. They went for a dramatic tone.
Oh yeah.
Using a lot of... And it was advertising the movie that the director made, not the film that was shown in theaters. So it was a very different type of trailer. If your choice would have just been arguing about that first trailer, I would have completely agreed, because the reason why I saw Suicide Squad in theaters was because of that trailer, and the fact that I liked the director's previous film Fury, despite it having no point. But all the other trailers, no, I would not call them good at all. Quite the contrary. So so I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by your choice.
I say good, because while you wanted something gritty, say even like the Joker that came out recently, which was good in a sense, Suicide Squad...
Gabe, you okay? Oh no, how embarrassing.
Nick! No! Not this shit again. Nick. Fucking Christ, kill me now. I want to die. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. This is why I say it comes out in and out. Anyway. I know. Fuck.
That's okay.
Kill me. But I was going to say, I chose that choice mostly because I didn't really have any hope, because before we had the gritty style with Man of Steel. I didn't care for it. And I didn't... What? You know what? Let's stop right now. I gotta stop.
Yeah.
So let's just go forward with that, okay?
Okay.
This one is a double ender, but it doesn't count as 2 movies, and counting this as one. It's Lucy and Limitless.
Okay.
Because let's say both of these movies are promising, where they eat a substance or take a substance that pretty much that both use the fucking line, we only use like 10% of our minds, man. What if we could use like 100%? They use the same fucking exact line of logic. I hate it, but you know what? Fine. Let's go with the premise. Let's see what you could fucking do with this. Holy shit. I would say Lucy was a better film because at least it did try, even though it was very limited in what it did. But Limitless was more limited because it turned into less about doing limitless things, doing all these things with potential, and becoming more about corrupt business moguls and something about the state, just talking about all this stupid shit without actually doing anything with it. The only thing about Limitless that was interesting was a few of the set design choices and the limitless zoom that happens in the beginning and the end of the movie. And Lucy, while there were a lot of interesting things that were happening in the movie, and Luc Besson was kind of entering that weird phase that I actually kind of like him for, there was like the biggest thing that Lucy faces in the movie is an RPG. Like, she doesn't really have like anything to bounce off her to fight against that would actually end up being cool. And ultimately, she ends up being this fucking universal USB. And I don't just mean universal.
Oh my gosh. I completely forgot that even happened.
So Lucy
what a movie.
I blame Lucy for not being more crazy, to be honest. That is my assessment of my number 5 pick.
Okay.
Number 4, it's going to be Elysium.
All right.
This is going to be we're off the high of, or at least I'm off the high of District 9. I forget if Chappie came after this. I didn't see Chappie.
Chappie was after this.
Right. So Elysium. I was really psyched. It looked very District 9-ish. Pretty much very similar things. Had exoskeleton. There was a lot of primal raw stuff going on, but it ended up being a nothing show pretty much. You have Matt Damon in this completely Hispanic Los Angeles. Like, he's the only fucking character that stands out in the film, and not for the sense that he's the main character. It just looks like a gringo just stepped into a Latin American town. And
he's the only person in the movie who looks like Matt Damon.
Yes. But no.
That got a laugh? Wow, this is going to be an embarrassing podcast.
Look. The whole movie was...
Well, I hope you know that I'm trying to sabotage your top 10 in an effort to win this competition.
Of course. Wait.
Hey, Gabe. Hey, welcome, John. Just on that note,
no.
I'm bringing in backup.
Fuck.
Let's go. We're tearing town.
What?
We're tearing this top 10 down with no survivors.
Kill me. What the fuck? Hi, John.
Hey, Gabe. I miss you.
I miss you too, John.
Wow.
You're so beautiful, John.
Are you feeling enraged right now, Gabe?
I am feeling...
Are you feeling upset?
I'm feeling wrestled.
What's going on? What's the context clues here?
The context is me and Nick were going to are talking about top 10s. I'm number 4, I guess. Then you came in and Nick is trying to get me mad. It's pretty hard to, but I'm pretty okay.
So what's
for now?
Top 10, like top 10 what? Like,
I mean, we have different categories right now. I'm on great trailers, shit movies.
Great trailers, but shit movies?
Yeah.
Oh,
we came up with... Yeah, sort of.
Oh, okay. I like the Mark Wahlberg's Plan the Apes. That was pretty hype.
Oh.
And then
Planet of the Apes, you said?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to continue. You can listen on, John. You can interject whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right.
Okay.
So, Nick, for number 3, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. Dead Island. It was a video game that...
Okay. No, this is fine.
Ended up being pretty mediocre and buggy, but the trailer was pretty much Memento, the editing style Memento. So basically...
You're right.
Basically, it starts with the end with the dead little girl. Then it starts with the people killing getting killed, and then ends in the middle with them trying to save the little girl, reaching out the hands. So very interesting trailer.
Yet.
It was a pretty mediocre to shitty game, really. But that's number 3. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm enjoying this list so far. I'm enjoying the nostalgia. I've not thought of Dead Island probably since it came out, and that was quite a while ago.
So number 2,
continue,
and this
please.
is why I told you to be quiet when I was referring to Suicide Squad. Man of Steel.
Okay.
Man of Steel's trailer is beautiful. Zack Snyder did try to input Plato and Plato's Cave into the thing. He even includes the book. He tries to Nolan it, but in the sense that he does try to use like some sort of philosophy in the as the foundation for Superman, and I can understand the direction he was trying to take it. But he didn't. He ends up making everything. He ends up doing the thing where a lot of not even philosophers, but a lot of like philosophically obsessed people make the error of doing. Like, if you ever seen a film done by Ayn Rand, everything and people stop becoming characters. They end up being a part of the allegory.
Mm-hmm.
They end up being talking points rather than actually having their own motivations, or at least them being secondary to what the philosophy is supposed to be behind. Like, I noticed this happening when the reporters stop being reporters, saying, "This man, he's different," and everyone's practically making him out to be a messiah before he even gets out to be. Superman's dad, Kent Costner, was it?
One of his dads. He's lucky. Yes. Bruce Wayne has no dads. Kal-El gets 2.
Oh my fucking god.
Gee, Cal, 2 dads?
2 I know that meme. I remember being really like, my stomach was upset that in this entire movie. First off, because my eyes were... like the way
I think this. No, I'm sorry. I think this is funny because this Man of Steel specifically it makes people sick when they watch it, because it was my worst theater experience. It wasn't the worst movie I've seen, but it was my worst theater experience because it made me feel ill. So if you feel the same way, then that's hilarious. It really is like cursed media, if that's true.
You really have to have a stomach of steel to get through it. There are a lot.
Well, John's here, so.
Oh, of course, John. How did you feel about Man of Steel? Silence. That's all I need.
I just meant John is the man with the stomach of steel.
Okay.
So it works.
I mean, what could I say about Man of Steel? The product placement, the long ass ending that didn't really look good either. Superman has always had a hard time just trying to be on film screen, other than that one time back in the 60s.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah.
They got it right the first time.
But
a lot of fans say they got it right the second time as well, but not since then.
But goddamn, I've actually seen, like, they have tried like over 50 years to go through so many Supermans, like the ones that you could have seen in the 90s and the 80s. You could have seen it, but there were so many rejects, so many destructions of productions. Superman is just a mess.
Hot mess.
Hot-mess.
I've not seen the animated series, but if it's anything like the Batman series from the 90s, I imagine that's good.
Yeah, it's pretty all right.
We're talking live action adaptations, absolutely.
So, Nick, I'm about to get to my number 1.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
So your number 1.
Oh, wait.
Assuming of the decade.
I should go over some things that you might agree with. Tell me. The Purge and the Purge series, basically.
I have not seen. Oh, I've seen a couple Purge trailers specifically in theaters while seeing other movies. I remember the third film, Election Year, had a character that was like a clear Hillary Clinton stand-in, and that one looked pretty interesting in how on the nose politically it was. That's really the only trailer I remember. Right. But I guess I agree. A lot of those Blumhouse horror films, they They put the really exciting stuff in there to lure you in.
Next is Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2.
Okay, it's fine.
I didn't see it myself.
No real opinion.
Uh,
I have, but yeah.
Sucker Punch.
Okay. Yeah, great trailer. Zack Snyder's movies are made for trailers. Very visual. Okay. And yes, the movie is ass.
I'm going to just say a few more. The Mummy.
Well, we're getting into this. Well, The Mummy is the greatest trailer of all time, so that's
especially
so
without
it could never live up to that.
Especially the sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was how it was intended to be.
And while I guess it's not going to come out till 2020, Sonic, the first trailer.
Yeah. Okay. Although, would you call that a good trailer? It's definitely a memorable one.
Oh. I guess it's just mentioned
but yeah,
trailers.
You're just bringing it up.
Yeah,
you're bringing it up. Okay.
Okay. I mean, okay. So number 1, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Do you know? Have you ever heard of this film? It stars Steve Carell.
I've seen this movie.
Or Ben Stiller.
No, it doesn't. It stars Ben Stiller.
I'm sorry. I confuse them so much because there's so much the same type of person.
You're doing all the work for me, Gabe. I don't even need to sabotage your top 10.
Me and my dad were in like a really low place at the time. This movie was coming out on Christmas of all times.
Yeah.
And I don't know, was it Ben Stiller makes these movies where you're supposed to feel good? He's like a little bit higher version of Zach Braff, basically, at this point in time.
I would agree with films where he's cast in, for sure. As far as movies that he's made as a director, I think that his style is much edgier, as you can see with movies like Tropic Thunder and Zoolander.
Right.
So this film is a rare exception. It's a very, very lighthearted type of movie for Ben Stiller. But sure.
But this movie, like the trailer, blew me out of my mind because I was like, "Wow, what a great opening scene!" And coincidentally, it also had Queen music to start it off with.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember it had some Arcade Fire in there.
No, is this?
Okay, yeah.
And it's him jumping out of the window, doing all these crazy stunts and whatnot.
Okay.
When I get to the actual film, that scene is so out of context, has no build-up whatsoever. It feels so fucking empty just to watch that scene. And that's basically how the whole movie felt. It's about the celebration of life or some shit. About finding a photographer, but the whole thing is just a middle-aged crisis man in the most boring way possible.
I think it's a pretty forgettable movie. I think with 3 exceptions. One being, I personally think the film looks very good. The locations are well shot.
Yeah.
Interesting places. I like the scene where he daydreams about getting in a fight with a Stretch Armstrong doll. It's just a very surreal action scene.
Oh, fuck. It's not recording right now. Rip. Fuck. Let me make sure it gets back. We're back in.
Very quickly, I initially created a top 10 related to the subject trailers because that was yours.
All right.
So I would like to read them off to you and just get your general opinion.
All right.
So I decided to do the top 10 most annoying trailer trends of the decade.
Okay.
And I'm just going to read them off. Number 10, I picked the Inception horns. The reason why this is number 10 is because you actually don't really hear these in trailers that much anymore. But at the beginning of this decade, they completely abused it.
I remember the Inception horns being in 12 Years a Slave. So you're not wrong.
Why? Why would... Trailers are a mistake.
It's definitely a product of its time.
I need an explanation. Why would anyone do that? What is the purpose?
I don't know.
What's the point? What were they thinking? Okay, so number 9 is embarrassing editing. It's pretty self-explanatory. films are already edited awfully enough, so editing them even more makes a lot of scenes incomprehensible. But this is just something that like a snob like me would really pick up on. Number 8, blatantly advertising the film as something else to lure in the normies and trick them into watching a movie they normally would not see.
Are you referencing a particular studio that has a letter in it and maybe a number?
I might be alluding to how A24 takes all of these artsy horror films or artsy horror dramas and advertises them as like Clickbait, as just very generic jump scare filled horror films to trick people into going to see them opening weekend. Then they get enough money to recoup their budget. Word gets out that these films are like art films, and box office cancer ensues, but they've already made their money opening weekend.
Nice.
But no, more so it's just annoying. If you see a film, there are some exceptions, but it's mostly A24. If you see a film and you know what it is, but then the trailer is trying to tell you it's something else. Again, this is kind of low because if you are well read and you do the research, you know what you're getting into. But I do feel bad for the people that don't know any better. Like people that would see a movie like The Witch thinking that they're going to have a fun, spooky witch movie. And then everyone's speaking in Old English and it's just like a history lesson.
That was me with Hereditary, except I got a depressing family divorce drama.
Yeah. Okay. So my number 6 is unfinished visual effects shots. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Most of the time in special effects heavy films, they'll try to use shots that are complete, but every once in a while they're not, but they put them in anyway. And then you get a million screen caps on the internet of look how bad this movie looks. Okay. Number 5, not being able to decide on having a trailer that is just one scene from the film to give the idea of what the movie will be like, or a summarized montage, a traditional trailer where you like show a bunch of scenes. So you just decide to have the trailer be both of them. What I mean by this, to give an example, is the trailer for It Chapter 2, as well as the trailer for The Mummy. These scenes start out with an extended like 2-minute long scene from the film, just uninterrupted. And then that'd be fine as a trailer. But then they also want to have a traditional trailer, so they just tack it in on the end, and you end up with a trailer that's 4 minutes long. Can you even imagine sitting in the theater and one trailer being that long?
I mean, technically, it would give away the whole movie at that point, wouldn't it?
It would give. I mean, that's my number 1, Gabe.
Oh.
We'll get it. We'll get there.
Okay.
Number 4, also adding to what I just said, they're just too damn long. These trailers are too damn long. And they're just going to add more ads. When I see a movie like The Irishman, I'm going to have to sit there for over 3.5 hours.
Nick, I got to call you out on that.
Padding.
Got to call you out on that. My mom just saw that. She said it was 2.5 hours.
She's lying. She's lying. I came home at 3 a.m.
Okay.
But anyway, number 3 is stupid repeating sound effect gimmicks. I just realized I skipped my number 7.
Okay.
So this list is a complete disaster.
Hey, I don't need to fuck you up. I don't even have to wish it. So let's go for it.
Okay. So never mind. I also listed generic sound clip abuse. Like in horror films, there are a bunch of weird dramatic sounds, and in comedy films, they're like stock audience gasps. Just all these things, they're always pulled from some stock sound effect library, and they use the same clips in every trailer, so you start to recognize them.
Like a Wilhelm scream type deal.
Yeah, sort of like that, except not as fun.
Yeah.
And then, the stupid repeating sound effect gimmick. This is a more recent trend that I find insufferable, where a trailer will have like a repeating sound element that continues throughout the entire trailer. So, for example, if a hack editor realizes that this film is tense and there's a time element, they'll add a clock ticking sound effect for the entire trailer.
But I guess there's one exception to that, but you are right.
Okay, my number 2 is atrocious music choices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm specifically talking about another recent trend where some hack executive will just take a random pop song, make an edgy version of it, and have that be the trailer music. I hate that shit.
Oh, okay.
And then my number 1 is just giving away too much fucking info about the movie. I tend to really remember stuff that I see in trailers. It's just something about me. So oftentimes I won't want to be spoiled when I see a film. I'll try to avoid trailers specifically, and then I go to see a movie, and then I see a trailer for this film, and it basically tells me everything that I wanted to be surprised about. Some trailers go to egregious lengths. Probably the worst case I can think of is the trailer for Terminator Genesis, where they advertise that film based off of the third act plot twist that John Connor in that film is a Terminator himself. This was supposed to be the end of the movie's twist, and it's in the trailer.
So I also have a personal experience with this. When I make a sizzle trailer for Huracan, the movie I had helped with the BTS with, we had a problem, or at least I had the challenge of figuring out what was too little and what was too much. Because if we gave the audience too little, they wouldn't really understand what the movie was about, and a lot of people wouldn't want to come based on that, because when you're an indie film, you're kind of fighting an uphill battle at this point.
It's because they're plebs, but I know that you're trying to make money, so it's understandable.
Trying to make money. And so I can understand the point where they might want to show a lot of the movie to show to these people. Maybe in the producer's minds, they think, well, this is the same so-and-so plot. You're not really going to get anything different. And you know that. They don't say it outright, but their actions let you know. And so they go ahead and do that, and they say, hey, you know what's going to happen in this movie, but you're still going to fucking watch it because you're a goddamn... I mean, you, as our lovely audience, will love it because...
Respect the customer.
Characters and funny quips and ha ha ha, that was pretty funny, and whoa, my God, that was so sad, and oh yes, and don't look at the Skinner robot box that we keep playing experiments with. No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into designing for trailers.
Yeah.
I always believe originality is your best tool, but this is a lot of work, and a lot of people don't give trailers credit. People who make trailers credit. It's tempting to reuse a lot of stuff that you know works. That is called laziness. I know that it's not a bad thing to do something that it's not a bad thing to rely on proven like success techniques when you're making a trailer.
All right.
But I would encourage a little more originality.
You know, they'll take that as you know what, maybe you're right, and so they do the exact same thing, but they're gonna change just a little bit once to make it. Here you go, that little bit of originality.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, so are you ready to pad out this talk longer than Showa?
Well, we're at 40.
Time for my actual top 10.
We're at 40 minutes.
Okay.
So do you want to go again, or shall I?
I want to go again, Gabe.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I get 2 scoops. You only get 1.
2 scoops. Stop.
That's the Stephen Colbert meme, right?
Yeah.
I'm a boomer, so I have to ask these things. Okay. So the subject that I chose for my top 10 was horror films of the decade. So I decided to come up with a list of the top 10 most nightmare-inducing horror film scenes from movies this decade. So my number 10 is the scene from Kick-Assia where
Oh
the
my
film
God,
critic
fucking
massacre
Christ.
happens. This is a
Oh
20-minute
God,
sequence where
stop.
every critic from that guy with the
No.
glasses storms
Oh
Kikassia's
my God.
enclosure, and they all get mowed down. It's so violent
Oh,
and horrifying. It really gets under
fuck.
your skin.
Oh
It triggers
boy.
PTSD. It gets
Shit.
it's just so much blood
Ass.
and what
Cunt.
Angry Joe does to
Gore.
those poor Korean immigrants.
Oh no.
I mean, it, it's borderline offensive, but this is war. This is what happens.
No.
So, number 9 is the scene from To Boldly Flee, where Spoonie is possessed and he's being held down on a table with some apparatus strapped to his head, and then he opens his eyes and they are glowing. It really sends chills down your
Oh my
spine.
God.
Number 8 is the ending of To Boldly Flee, where the nostalgia critic Doug Walker becomes a god. This scene itself is not scary, but the implications are truly haunting because you're aware of just how much power this man has and what the future will bring. Number 7 is the recurring moment from Suburban Nights,
Oh my God.
where the villain Malachite repeats, "What do you think about the 21st century?" It's a really intimidating line of dialogue, and you know that bad things are going to happen.
Oh no.
Number 6 is the infamous scene from Suburban Nights where Jew Wario defeats all of the bad guys by opening his fly, revealing his Jew Wario penis. The reason this scene would be scary enough if it weren't for the reveal that Jew Wario is actually a sex offender, meaning that they supposedly knew about this during filming, making this scene simultaneously hilarious and terrifying.
It makes everything terrifying.
Number 5 is the controversial rape scene from To Boldly Flee. I mean, Doug put this in the film based off of his and his brother's of directorial vision for what they wanted their characters to go through. It's just a really uncomfortable scene that makes your skin crawl.
What was that? Was that the one with the Lizzie Ellis movie cameo?
Yes, this is the film involving this is the scene involving Lindsay Ellis and Linkara Noah.
Of course.
It's just a really horrifying scene. So number 4 is the scene from Suburban Nights where Doug Walker sits down, faces the camera, exposing his giant ball sack coming out of his tidy whities for all of the viewers to see. This is a moment which will haunt my nightmares until I die, just for the rest of my life. I'll always be horrified by this image. Number 3 is a scene from the movie To Boldly Flee, where Spoonie escapes from his pod. This is the most terrifying scene that comes during during the first half of the film. It has tremendous atmospheric buildup, and then, like a jump scare, this creature emerges from the darkness, and you can't believe what you're seeing.
Nick, it wasn't a jump scare. It was no jump scare. The man just crawled right out of the thing, and it was.
I call it.
He didn't even jump us. It
made me jump.
Made us jump. That is correct.
It'll give me nightmares.
Made
forever.
All of us jump.
Forever. So number 2 is the scene from Hereditary where Charlie gets her head cut off and spirals for the remaining 2 hours, just a nightmare descent into my deepest and darkest fears. It's truly nightmare inducing.
Yes, family divorces.
Number
scary.
one is To Boldly Flee in general, having to watch it. The most nightmare inducing scene of the decade is just watching that entire movie.
Buenísimo. Wonderful, Nick. Record timing. Would you like to go again?
No, that's okay.
All right.
That's okay. You've earned your time.
Okay, Nick. So, I'm going to give you an option. Would you rather
All right.
have anime or clickbait? Or anime clickbait? Or clickbait
I
anime?
kind of want to leave anime for last. So let's go with clickbait.
Okay, clickbait. And hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Variety Hour, where I ask Nick all these top 10 I messed that up. Anyway, basically,
I think I know where you're getting at, though. Is this going to be an interactive top 10?
yes, it is.
Dreams do
So-
come true.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 questions of 2 potential, two potential titles
Numbers.
from video essays. You're
Okay,
going to
so
have,
these are real video. These are real video essays
um,
that you found.
yes, but one of them
Okay.
is real and the other is not.
I have to find the dirty rat. All right.
So I'm going to start with the least absurd to the most absurd. So let's start.
Oh, okay,
let's
fine.
start with the first
Gotcha.
one.
Got it.
And number 1, we have Palpatine's Art of Camp and How It Saved the Prequels, or Sheev Palpatine, Puppeteer of Deceit.
Okay. So the subject is clickbait. Both of those are interesting titles just because I love a video about Sheev. I'm actually gonna say that the video titled Sheev and being a puppeteer of deceit is the true video.
Okay. Would you like?
I think element of camp is fake.
Okay. Would you like to know this the correct answer now or later?
Yeah, let's go now.
All right. The correct one is Palpatine's Art of Camp and How It Saved the Prequels.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong. So this is a video in defense of the prequels.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Off to a bad start.
Okay. Don't worry. You got 4 more.
Gotcha.
So the first one we have is the Star Wars sequels are too smart for us, or the Star Wars prequels are secretly brilliant.
Are these all Star Wars clickbait videos?
No, it's just these 2.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. What's that last one again?
Okay, so the first one is the Star Wars sequels are too smart for us, or the Star Wars prequels are secretly brilliant.
Okay. I think the second one has to be real because that's just too. It's just funny.
Okay.
Someone came up with that and said this is perfect.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
That is the correct one. It is. It's trying to say that since the themes were there, it's basically brilliant. It's just it was shit
secretly
brilliant. Secretly brilliant. I fucking hate.
As if they're trying to keep it a secret. Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Okay, so you got 1 out of 5. Let's continue.
1-0.
So so the third one is shut up about plot holes, or nitpicks are the death of cinema.
Wow. Interesting choices. Interesting titles. Okay, so nitpicks are the death of cinema. Shut up about plot holes. Well, I'm gonna say that nitpicks is the true video. I believe that the term nitpick is thrown around more these days than plot holes, but I could be wrong.
All right. Well, the correct answer is shut up about plot holes.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
So
Accept my loss.
the video is bad as you think. It tries to make an interesting, like an okay point.
Shut up about plot holes.
But
Please.
but you know.
Well, it is interesting because I feel like people who complain about plot holes would be like an easy target to say, look, this stuff is wrong. Like you're overanalyzing stupid details. But that he like completely fails to address these points. Okay. Good. Better luck next time.
All right. So let's continue.
Okay.
So first, the fourth question was I forget. Is it third or fourth? Who
I think this
cares?
is number 4. Number 4.
Number 4. Shyamalan, Into the Master of Mystery, or
Okay.
Michael Bay, Understanding a True American Auteur.
Okay, this is interesting. Shyamalan, Master of Mystery sounds like International Man of Mystery, which is the subtitle to Austin Powers.
Right.
So I'm going to assume that's fake because I would call Michael Bay an American auteur.
Okay. And you are correct.
Yes.
He is a true American auteur. Just to let you know,
Yes.
it's that's the same video by the guy that did Shut Up About Plot Holes. So yeah. So
Well, at least he knows what he loves.
yeah.
I hope. Making embarrassing videos. Okay.
Fifth, Marvel's biggest baddie just wants to be your daddy.
Whoa.
Or Tony Stark is a weak little loser.
I'm speechless. I can't even imagine what these videos would be about, either one. But because I imagine these essay videos would be more than just like one or two remarks. They probably go full in depth. So
Right.
I'm gonna say I like the rhyme scheme of the big baddie one. I assume that one's talking about Thanos. I'm gonna go with that one as being true. The Tony Stark one, I think, is the odd man out.
All right, you are correct.
Okay, good. Nailed it.
Okay. So this last one. Technically this is number 6, but rather just have fun with it. It's the last one.
Okay.
It's going to be why this Joker is a real loser, or
Ew.
Joker, racist, misogynist, incel, clown.
And I assume all of those words are appended with periods.
No, it's commas.
Okay, well, fine. I can't imagine. Aha! I think I found your flaw. I can't imagine punctuation of that nature being in a title of a YouTube clickbait video. So I'm gonna say that the Joker incel clown one is the fake one.
God damn, that was actually good. So ding ding ding, you got it. So I believe
Nice.
you got you didn't get the nitpicks one. You also
No.
didn't get Palpatine. So I think you had 4 out of 6. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I should
better
say
than I thought.
I should say that when I was going through this list, I realized that the titles of a lot of these, it wasn't the fact that the titles were strange. Most of them that I've known to hate. It's just that like they follow a certain pattern. Like X didn't die; it was murdered, or Inset, your movie here, The Death of Cinema. They followed like a title pattern structure, and the real
Yeah.
like bullshit that was happening was inside the video, basically.
Okay, just true clickbait.
Yeah.
Truly,
So
you've already clicked. You've gotten baited.
Nick, would you like to go?
Yes, I made a 10 list related to clickbait. And this one, it'll be real simple. I'm just going to read them off. I'm not going to go in depth because I found what I believe are the top 10 definitions of clickbait listed on Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
Okay. So, number 10, clickbait. It means what you think it means.
Oh God.
Number 9, clickbait. President Obama loves the KKK? Click. Obama loves the new Krispy Kreme crispy glazed bear claw. I mean, this one's pretty low because I think the payoff doesn't really make sense. But I mean, it's A for effort. A for effort.
All right.
Number 8, when you masturbate, you don't want to run into clickbait.
All right.
Number 7, when you click on a new gameplay trailer and there's no actual gameplay. Number 6,
Okay.
the thing I absolutely hate the most. Like, I imagine this trailing off into just some long rant, so it made me smile. Number 5, clickbait or clickbait is a French term coined in the 16th century. It means to use thy persuasion to reap the gaze of thou's congregation.
Oh my God.
In modern terms, this means to try to get mad view count.
Okay.
Number 4, entry after entry of butthurt Fortnite Zoomers complaining about YouTube. This is not like me quoting something. These are my words. I noticed that more than half of all the entries on Urban Dictionary are just a bunch of butthurt YouTubers complaining about Fortnite videos.
Wonderful.
So number 3, when you see something cool, you click on it, but that cool thing is not there. This one's, it's like the perfect death. So
Right. Yeah.
that's why I put it. Number 2, clickbait is the new generation's form of jailbait.
Oh God.
Okay.
That's
number
really
1,
bad.
you ready?
I'm ready.
I know. Number 1, these are all listed as bullet points. Anything in all caps, a billion question marks. The quote, not clickbait. Quote, gone sexual.
Oh my God.
Quote, experts, doctors, baffled. Quote, simple trick. Anything where each first letter in every word is capitalized. And this point is capitalized for every first letter, so that's pretty clever. And lastly, anything you see at the bottom of a website. So I was pretty impressed overall.
That was a real clickbait top 10 for clickbait, Nick.
Yeah, okay.
So, Nick, I must ask, do you have any others?
Yes.
Because I have one that will close the night.
Well, let's see. I have 3 top 10 lists remaining.
Right, but how many
So
do you
the answer
actually
is yes.
feel good about talking about?
Well, all of them.
Great about talking about.
You're trying to censor me, Gabe.
No. What are you talking about?
Hey. There are 2 that one I can just list off, and I was hoping that would be my ending.
Okay, you can do that.
The other 2 I was hoping to go more in depth. I know this video is kind of long already, but I mean, you went for 30 minutes on the first one, even though I was trying to sabotage you.
Of course, you were.
Okay. So I'll give you this. I have 3 more top 10s. So for my actual category, as my second top 10, I went with controversy. My list is the top 10 most controversial anime tragedies of the decade.
Oh.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. List them off for me, boy.
So number 10, Challenger approaching, a new foe. Jeb joins the brawl.
Oh, God.
Basically, in a race filled with literal meme candidates, the son of the bush ended up being the biggest loser of them all, the easiest target, the most pathetic looking madman. What a tragedy. So, number 9, Teddy's failed Pokemon movie retrospective. Teddy hyped up writing this ultimate deep dive into every Pokemon movie for what seemed like an entire month, and then he just never delivered. What a betrayal. Number 8, the tragedy of Alden Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich is the actor who portrayed Han Solo in the recent Disney Solo film. The reason why this is such a tragic fall from grace is because this man had everything going for him. He was an up-and-coming star. He had Spielberg's backing. He was the man who discovered him. His claim to fame, at least for me, was a supporting role in the Coen brothers film Hail Caesar, which was a brilliant performance. That movie is an ensemble piece with several big-name actors like George Clooney and Jonah Hill. And yet, he is the one who comes away, a complete unknown, as the most memorable character. And then the film was a disaster. And not to mention the rumors that Disney forced talent or forced acting coaches on the set, forever giving him the title of being so bad that he needed coaching. And he's not in movies anymore. What a tragedy. Number 7, being Batman ruined Ben Affleck's life. It just did. All those memes of depressed Batman or of depressed Ben Affleck are true. His follow-up to winning Best Picture for Argo was a film that got 0 Oscar nominations, bad reviews, and made less than $20 million at the box office. Then he got divorced, and then he went into alcohol therapy. And I don't think he's very happy about any of that stuff happening. And it's all because of Zack Snyder. Number 6, James Franco cucked Tommy Wiseau at the Golden Globes. This is an infamous betrayal. An infamous betrayal I will always remember. Tommy Wiseau's adaptation, The Disaster Artist, which portrayed the making of The Room, made into a film with James Franco, ended up getting a bunch of award buzz. James Franco got a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor and invited Tommy Wiseau as his guest of honor. This was it. Tommy Wiseau was finally going to have his night in Hollywood. James Franco won. He got up to the stage and invited Tommy to give a talk. Tommy was going to speak on the grand Golden Globe stage. He reaches for the mic. James Franco says, "Oh, no. And then he cuts him off and rambles about some bullshit no one cares about. Tommy Wiseau's one chance dashed. And this one not only cucked Tommy, but he cucked all of us as well. Number 5.
Never forgive him.
Number 5, Phil Fish. That's it. I'm done. Fez 2 is canceled. Just like that.
Yep.
It's so simple.
I don't think... Has he done anything else since?
No.
Well, good riddance. I'm kidding. But maybe he does come back and just stays off Twitter.
It's a tragedy, and it's funny. Number 4, George Lucas signed the rights to Star Wars and LucasArts in general to Disney. J.J. Abrams was announced as the director of the first new Star Wars film, The Force Awakens. Suddenly, George Lucas teleports behind J.J. Abrams. He unleashes a full Shungoku Satsu against the unsuspecting Abrams. The new director is not able to say more than one phrase, "Nani?" before he is completely obliterated. Basically, George Lucas gave Disney the rights to Star Wars, but he also cursed them, and they've been doomed to fail with every attempt. So
I would say that Star Wars was already cursed, but yeah.
Number 3, 12 Years of Boyhood. Imagine spending 12 years making a movie that you hope will be a genre-defining masterpiece that everyone will claim as the best movie until eons pass. And then it comes out and every critic loves it and it gets like 1 million Oscar noms. And then on Oscar night, it doesn't win anything. Well, at least it didn't win Best Picture. So what a tragedy. And then all the cutaways to the main actor looking depressed as they keep announcing winners that are not Boyhood. Classic. Number 2, The Tragic Curse of Punished, Damien Chazelle. Damien is a young film director. He started with Whiplash and then made La La Land. His tragedy began when they announced that he won Best Picture, only for to zoom in. Wait, there's been a mistake. And his life was never the same. Completely ignoring him in favor of Moonlight, Damien was forced into the shadow, crying his eyes out, never given the chance that he deserved. And with his next movie, The First Man, went into bullshit controversy about conspiracy before it was even released, forever confirming that the film would be a box flop. His fate was written in stone. This man is a Greek tragedy. And number 1, of course, is the wood chipper incident. It's the unrelenting forces of nature ruined forever.
Wonderful.
Yikes.
So, Nick.
Okay. Okay, so you've been very patient, Gabe. For the last top 10 of the night, I bring you
I'm a good
the
boy.
top 10 reasons why Bryce is actually Shrek.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Are you ready for this ogre load of joy?
I don't think I ever will be. But you know what? Shrek is love. Shrek is life. I'll take him into my life. I'll take Bryce into my life. Just do it.
Top 10 reasons why Bryce is actually Shrek. Number 10, the man loves his food.
Yeah.
Number 9, he wants to live in a medieval fantasy world. Number 8, big ears. Number 7, he's an all-star.
Hey now.
Number 6, he lives in a swamp.
Damn, saying that about his bedroom.
Number 5, people take one look at him and go, "Ah, help, run!"
Yes.
Number 4, he found his true love.
Yes, he did.
Number 3, when left in the sun, he turns brown and starts sprouting little white hairs.
That's... Wait, that was Shrek?
Of course, Gabe.
Okay.
No, it's Bryce. It's also Shrek. They're one and of the same.
Of course.
Number 2, people judge him before they even know him.
Yes.
And number 1, he has layers.
Yeah. In many ways, his layers have layers, so I agree with this. And Bryce, you are the man of the hour. And the hour just finished. Good job.
Ready to call it a night?
Yeah, I'm ready to call it a night. I think we went about an hour or so. But,
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. I'll edit this and the other one before. I'll take some time tomorrow to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've had a wonderful time listening to us, whether you're in the car, in bed, or just fuck knows. But I'm your host, Gabe.
And this is Nick. Thank you for being on this journey with us. If it was embarrassing and uncomfortable and you regret listening to this whole thing, then we've done our job.
And good day and good night. Done.
Peace.
Okay. Well, that went okay.
It ended better. It had many jewels. It had a lot of good moments.